Hey there, welcome to the program. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com, 651-775-9194. That's the big number to call.
Yep.
That's the number that everybody's dialing. That's where you get that good information. Sheila will give you all the help you need. And, of course, that call is all with no cost and absolutely no obligation. Here we are studying the 4 pillars of a healthy home, the structure, the ecosystem, your personal health, and your emotional and spiritual well-being. Today we're going to be talking about the ecosystem inside the house. We have Peaceful Life Organizing in the studio, Kelsey and Kristen, and they are going to tell us all about it. How do we keep that inside of that house organized and running like a well-oiled machine? Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thanks for
You are
coming
not
in.
allowed to come to my home when I'm gone in the next few days because I'm guessing
The pantry.
I am going to be posting some videos while Sheila, the lovely and talented Sheila, is going out to Utah.
Going out to Mona. I have been
Idaho, is it Utah or Idaho?
Mona, Utah.
Okay.
I've been blessed to be part of a pilot program with Young Living to go, and 22 of us, and we are gonna farm. He's laughing at me because I am like the furthest from a farmer. So we are going to learn more and experience more about the seed to sale process and how they really are above, other companies. And so we are going to farm. We are going to learn more about the raindrop technique, and we're going to learn more about the vagus nerve and how that impacts your health and what oils and technique that you can do to support that. So I invite you to go Google vagus nerve.
All right. So the closest thing that Sheila gets to farming is telling me where to plant something.
That's right.
Okay. So let's talk about organizing. So for those who haven't heard you on, I don't know if you've been on this show before.
Yes,
You've
they
been
have.
on our real estate show a few times. Tell us a little bit about your company, how you got started, and where did you come from? What were you doing before you were organizing People's World?
Yeah. So, do you want to start out with?
Yeah, so I started thinking about starting this company about 7 years ago. Actually, Sheila, remember I reached out to you?
Yep.
We met for coffee.
After reading the book.
Yeah, I read Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and I was a dental hygienist full-time, and I just knew that my body couldn't take that, and it's very repetitive, so I wanted something a little more exciting, and we met, and I was like, can you help me? And Sheila invited me to a meeting, a BNI meeting. I was scared. I didn't even have a business card or anything.
Was it G7 or was it?
It was BNI.
It was BNI.
Oh, BNI. Okay, yep.
And then I had to pitch myself, and I started the company, and it just evolved from there. And I was, by myself doing it. It was taking off. I was getting clients. I had a website, and everything was going in the right direction. And then I was kind of like at a point where I was stuck. I didn't have enough time to invest in it. And I was kind of like, okay, this is hard, owning your own business, and it takes a lot of work.
And you have kids too.
Yeah, I have 3 kids. And so, I was still doing hygiene part-time. It was just my side hustle. And then I was like, what am I going to do? And then one day, Kristen messaged me on Facebook.
Yeah, so I had been a stay-at-home mom for many years. I have 4 kids.
And you guys knew each other, though?
Yes, we
Okay,
went to
all right.
middle school together.
Okay, all right.
And so I kept seeing people saying they were looking for a referral for an organizing company. And so I had sent Kelsey a couple, and all of a sudden it dawned on me because I started to think I needed to get out of the home, and I needed to go help people. I needed to do something. And I kept running into Kelsey, and I kept getting those referral things, and I'm like, people pay for that? And I was like, I could do that.
Right.
Like, I wonder how it's going. And so I just messaged Kelsey. I just said, how are things going? And kind of told her what I was thinking. And she said, let's meet for coffee. And that was 3.5 years ago, I think.
Wow.
Now. And we just ended up joining forces. And I took over kind of marketing. And she eventually was able to get out of dental mostly. And that's...
Okay, so tell us a little bit about the whole thing now. What your core business is going into people's homes, and they are in disarray.
Yeah.
And putting some order to their life.
Yeah.
Who's your core client group? I mean, who's the people that you mostly help?
It really varies, but we do specialize in moms and people who are moving, downsizing. it kind of is all across the board, really. The reason why we like working with moms is because we have 7 kids between the two of us, and we've done all the different stages, and we like doing that. But we just love organizing so much. We research new methods. We like to have the latest and greatest. We like to make everything just shine in someone's home and just make it look really nice.
Especially that spice cabinet that I saw on your.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, I think moms have a really hard time because they're pulled in so many directions, and the expectations are so high to have, this perfect home, and the Instagram world, everything just looks perfect, and we're all just trying to kind of survive. So I think we help out a lot of those moms, and what we do is we don't push the perfectionism thing. We talk more about like what's realistic, and we set up systems. We look at we walk in and do a consultation, and we just see the areas that are stressing them out. It might not be initially what they think is stressing them out, but as we walk around, we can kind of see, they start getting hives, and they're like, don't go over there, don't look at that closet, and all of a sudden we kind of know after all these years of kind of where to start and what to do and how to fix it. And I think a lot of people just aren't able to do that. They don't know what the problem is. They just know it just never gets done.
Well, it's like anything. It's like the starting, right? It's just where to start.
Yeah.
And the idea that if I start, that means I need to finish, and then that's overwhelming.
Right.
So are you talking about new moms, or just brought the baby home and now
right.
everything's in chaos, or the 3-year-old?
Yeah, usually I would say the 3-year-old is like that's kind of a hard age. So and it's just, parents are just overwhelmed just, day to day. So doing anything beyond the dishes and the laundry and the basic upkeep is just, they don't know where to start.
How do you deal with the toys? We have 16 grandkids, and they have more stuff than you can possibly shake a stick at. I mean, the sheer volume of the gadgetry and the toys and the this, that, and the everything. I mean, how do you
more when
deal with it?
You're younger, right? Now that they're getting older, their toy is technology, but the younger ones have a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
We like to teach independence from an early age for children, and we like them to be kind of self-starters, and to set something up for them to put away, it has to be really simple and easy. And we like to make toy rotations so that they can feel like it's new each time they open it.
Yeah, we like them to have, a higher chance at success. So if there is a room with, 30 different types of toys, like there's Hot Wheels, and then there's Barbies, and then there's, Lincoln Logs, and there's just all these different topics, and it all gets dumped in the middle. An adult doesn't even know where to start.
And you can't play with it, and you see nothing.
Yeah.
When there's everything, you see nothing. And
so they avoid the room just like the adult in the house does, and then they don't know how to clean up, and neither does the adult. It's just too much.
Do you do coaching then with the kids? I mean, do you actually sit down with the kids and do coaching with them on?
Yeah.
We love working with kids.
Yeah.
And when they get older, their space is their little apartment. It's their ownership. It's their responsibility. So when it's coming from someone other than a parent, they kind of listen a little bit differently.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah. And we do coach the parents too as we go, and not just parents, all clients. If they're around, we just kind of talk through what we're doing and why, so they can kind of mimic it when we're not there.
There's a new study out that the kids, we go through this era, right? So the kids used to share a room, right, when you grew up, and now everybody has their own bedroom, right? And now it's mine, me, mine, and now the studies are showing, let's go back to sharing rooms, because then we can get out of this my, me, men.
Yeah.
Mentality.
I like that.
Yeah.
Admiral William McRaven wrote a book called Make Your Bed, and it's a book about making the world better. And he said it starts with making your bed.
Yeah.
Make your bed and clean your room, your own personal space and your own personal area. Make that good, and then you're able to go out and start working in your community and the thing at large. But if you come home at night and your own personal world is a chaos, it's kind of hard to be helping other people get their life in order when yours is not.
Right.
So,
but nobody teaches that.
Nobody
they don't
does
teach that
it.
at school.
Right.
Kind of
exactly.
a mirror.
Yeah.
We went into a house of quite a few years ago now, and they had 8 kids, and it was perfect. It was in perfect order, and it's like, how do you do this with 8 kids? We're going to find out when we come back from break. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. Have to go out and pay some bills right now. We'll be right back after these messages. We're in the studio with Kelsey and Kristen, and we are organizing our world and organizing our life. PeacefulLifeOrganizing.com. PeacefulLifeOrganizing.com. Okay, so we went out to break. I had a little story about these family, 8 kids, and they were perfectly organized. Why is it important to you? I mean, just on a personal level, why is it important to you to be organized and to help others organize?
Do you want to?
Yeah, I think it's important because spiritually and mentally, and there's so many aspects that are affected from having chaos in your home. It just really is kind of like a domino effect.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I went to school, I got my degree in psychology from the University of Minnesota, and it's always been a passion of mine to just help people with that. And I was working in the locked inpatient units, and I came to the realization that we were too late.
Mm-hmm.
I was too late. So I couldn't do much to help at that point.
Sure.
And so I just kind of rethought how I was going to help people. And I think this is kind of before that. So if we can just help people at an earlier stage, have more support, I think it's going to change our whole world. I really do. If people can just
let's
support.
Look back at that. Back years ago, we didn't have all the stuff we have, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you could have a tidy house.
Yeah.
You know, you didn't have the
2
kids-
shirts.
Excess.
Well, right, but you know, you didn't have the 3-year-olds all their stuff and all their stuff taking over your dining room and your living room.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, as I like things in its place, right? And I
Really?
Shush.
You just have a lot of places
Yeah, I do have a lot of
for
places.
the same item.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that just because I have kids now I'm going to lose my identity of what I don't have to remove all the glass, and I shouldn't have to. That it should be taught that this is not something you play with, right?
Yeah.
So you go from back to where we were, where there was a place for that. You went here and you played with your toys. It didn't take over the whole house, and you just lost out control of everything. And it goes back to those people that had those 8 kids. They were military.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody had a job and everybody did this, and I mean, it was a wonderful thing to see, but that's just gone out the window.
Yeah, I think that if you think about it, like if there's 8 kids and 2 adults, you have 10 people that house should be tidy.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But we don't really we don't look at it that way. We look at it like, well, there must be 7 people making a mess and 7 people's things everywhere, and then 1 person or 2 people are trying to keep it up so that it's impossible. But really, kids can help a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's good for them.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's where another
Very
thing
good.
we've lost is we've lost I don't want to say discipline, but
Yeah.
Participation and understanding and manners and routines and the benefits of those. Right. The benefits of those, learning those as a young child.
Yeah.
Do you have people that you help on an ongoing basis? Just like you're going once a month, or you're going once a quarter, once a week,
Yeah, we do.
and going there and just square. Do you have that kind of a service?
Once a week.
Is that like a subscription deal, or how do you work?
It's household management. So
Okay.
Household management.
Yes.
There you go.
We help them with their cleaning services, with carpet cleaning, with organizing, with everything that they need. We help figure out what they need for their kitchen and groceries, and we just keep going through their house, and these people have these huge homes, and it's so hard to maintain.
Okay, so
for
now
one
on a
person.
personal level, just between us,
Yeah.
what would a service like that cost?
Yeah. So it's $560 for a 4-hour session.
Okay,
So with both of us.
once a week?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we come in and we would, like
That's 4 hours.
Yeah,
Yep.
I hear you.
open packages and kind of just put everything away. We help go through inventory of like if they needed, garbage bags as we're putting things away. We can have the carpet cleaners come while we're there, and
we do handyman. We do decorating for holidays. We put it all away. We set it up. We
Ooh.
help people.
holiday put up, holiday take down. Just putting, going through sizes of kids' clothes. I mean, there's always a task seasons change,
Right.
selling things that they need. Like, we just had a client who needed to sell her outdoor furniture, and kind of being there for the pickup and getting that posted and pictures taken and measured. And there's just so much to do.
Yeah.
And so if we can just kind of relieve some stress during, health issues, or, you just had a baby, or if there could be life changes that make it harder to stay on top
Or
of.
moving.
Well, and years ago too, there's less women that worked outside of the home.
Right.
So that was like their
Someone
job.
was there. Yeah, it was
Right.
their
That's
job.
that they managed that. But now with 2 people working,
Right.
who's the manager?
Right.
Mhm.
And we have really like high power women and men that we work for. It's not that they can't do it or that they
Right.
don't have nice homes or that they're
Right.
lazy. They're go-getters, but they're out going and getting.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
they have us come in and, can just keep everything naturally sane.
Flowing, yes.
Yeah.
So on that line, then, when you're providing the service for a family,
Yeah.
from the time you start until after you've done it for a time period, do you notice a difference in the house? I mean, a difference in the
Yeah.
mood or in
Yes.
the temperature, if you will, of that household?
The chaos just goes down
The family members seem
as you
less.
simplify
Mhm.
and find everything a home. It
Yeah.
really makes a difference on your mental health and just your surroundings and your environment. It kind of mirrors, what you're going through inside. So if we can keep their environment calm and peaceful,
Yeah.
then it really affects their whole lives.
How do you see the kids responding to it?
They love it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean-
the kids are excited. They get home and they're like, "Oh, the organizers were here."
Yeah.
And people call us, we've been called like my angels are here, or like someone called us the church ladies. I don't know. We've never
Yeah.
even talked about church, but
Mhm.
she just calls us that.
Yeah.
And they just like the ladies are here. The ladies were here. The ladies were
Yeah.
here, and they just get excited and they're just grateful. They feel taken care of and important.
Do you have a key to everybody's house?
Oh,
No.
well, we have
We have the
codes,
codes.
and
I
garage codes.
imagine the apartment board,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
all the keys,
Oh, yeah.
unit 101.
Oh yeah, hanging there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So then, when you're in there, and we're doing this before, there's always a concern about security and confidentiality and
Yeah.
things like that. How do you protect against that to make sure that you've got maintain that integrity?
Yeah, absolutely. So if we post anything on social media, we always try to make sure there's no names, no identifying information. As we're organizing, we come across sensitive documents, and we usually just make like a shred pile, and people have shredders in their home.
Mm-hmm.
We make burn piles if they want to burn it, whatever. So we kind of just talk it through with them at the consultation and come up with, what they're wanting to do with that sensitive material. We have some clients where we open all her mail.
Mm.
Like we just go through and we're like, oh, this is for her taxes this year. This is for, pay a bill. And we just get it organized. And some people that freaks them out. So you just kind of work with each.
Individual.
Yeah.
You have a clever idea about burning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just tell us about that a little bit.
Well, shredding takes a lot of time.
Uh-huh.
And then it's another task you have to do.
Right.
So you put it off, and the pile gets bigger. And, at nighttime, it's nice to have a fire, when it's
Yeah.
cool. And
So one of our clients, he would take a brown Cub paper bag
Mm-hmm.
and he would put in, a big chunk of paper and then just staple it shut. And those are his logs
Yeah.
for the fire.
Mm.
So he'd have a basket with these Cub bags, and in them is sensitive paperwork. And he would just, if he had people over, he'd go grab a log and put it on there, and
yeah.
it would keep the fire burning all night, he said. So,
That's a great idea. Worry about some of those papers floating off.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe, and
yeah.
there goes my Social Security
Oh,
number
yeah, I
over
know.
to the neighbor's house.
right, exactly.
Got to maybe
Oh,
put a
gosh.
stick on there.
Yeah, put
We
a,
try to be really sensitive with people because it can be shameful and they can have, guilt with letting somebody in. And we don't ever try to judge anyone. We're there to help.
What's the most bizarre situation that you can remember ever going into? No names.
yeah. I don't know what, I mean, we found some interesting things. We've found earthworms,
Yeah.
earthworm farms. We've had to organize.
With
Oh.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, we did. People kept P-pad cool designs on it. We've had, what else? I think more it's just fun.
We just try to have fun.
we've had mice chase us out of boxes.
She screams real loud. I mean,
silverfish.
She gets
silverfish. That's the only thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, what happened? Is somebody dying? Are you having a stroke?
Yeah.
And
I think the coolest thing is finding those antique things.
Oh, yes.
Too.
Yes.
That really makes our job.
The owners had even forgotten about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that they have an ice chipper, and I always do this. They have something that can crush cracked ice and you just hit it
in a jiffy.
In a jiffy.
Yep.
Yeah, it cracks ice in a jiffy, and it's a metal spoon. You can whack the ice and it's a modern day ice crusher.
Okay, and it works like a champion.
Yeah, sure does.
She loves that.
Right. I get it. It's a gadget.
This is Our Healthy Homes,
get it.
ourhealthyhomes.com. We'll be right back with the girls.
It's the ladies.
With the ladies.
The church ladies.
Right after the church ladies, right after these messages. Hey, welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. We're going to continue on with Peaceful Life Organizing in just a minute. Sheila's got a couple things she wants to shout out, and then we'll get back to the girls, to the
ladies. What time of year is it?
What time is it? Springtime.
What happens in springtime?
It's liver time.
No, we talked about the seasons the other day.
Yep.
All right, so things are growing. People are having, sinus issues, allergies, things like that. And so today I took my information from drjockers.com. He's just a doctor that I watch. And, there's the sinus issues, right? When the allergies start to happen or the plants start to grow and whatnot. And so there's some things that you can do naturally to support that, right? It's just we don't have to run to get a medication to deal with it, because then you have the whole host of side effects that the medications have. So just a little short list. You can follow an anti-inflammatory food plan, basically. You can eliminate food sensitivities, and there's a way to figure out what those are if you don't know what they are. You could consider a low histamine diet plan. Histamine is a new thing, I think, that people maybe don't know about. That's a conversation to have sometime. Improve your microbiome health, right, because your gut's your second brain. Clean up your air quality. We all know how important that is. You can do some in-home acupressure techniques. You can diffuse essential oils. You can use a neti pot. You can use colloidal silver, and you can take immune support supplements. And so just, I think I just assumed that everybody knows what foods are inflammatory. But now I was, looking at this today, and I'm thinking, you know what? Just like the moms are so busy, and people just don't realize, don't know. No. And so your top anti-inflammatory foods are these are anti-inflammatory. So these are the ones you want. Lemons, lime, berries, avocados, green tea, non-starchy vegetables, turmeric, fish, bone broth, apple cider vinegar, ginger, fermented vegetables, basil, oregano. So you got some herbs, coconut oil, those kind of things. But this is where we just are in this society of just more is better and fast is better, right? Yeah. So the ones that you should stay away from, which, see, I think everybody knows this, but then I think, do they really know this? Because if they knew it, wouldn't they stay away from it? So that's your refined grains, your deep fried foods, your processed foods, most packaged foods.
Potato chips?
Like potato chips. I know. I only allow myself potato chips like once a month, because it's like I would eat the bag every day, right? So most commercial salad dressings. We must be in a different
calendar, because that month rolls around pretty frequently.
There you go. Margarine, corn. Corn's a big inflammation food. And so when you use essential oils, there's many ways to use them. And you can diffuse it. And we always tell everybody, you want to use the essential oil diffuser, and people think that they can put their essential oils in a warmer or a humidifier, and it doesn't work like that, right? You need a cold air diffuser, and you can inhale them, which is how many seconds into the brain-blood barrier?
Was it like 10 seconds?
3. Okay, well, I thought you knew that. Okay.
Mine must be slower.
Yeah,
10.
you can use topical, and so Yeah, interesting. Now, this is on Dr. Jockers, which I already knew, but I'm just sharing the information. Diffusing essential oils is just another strategy to help you with relief, right? Symptom relief. So peppermint oil, eucalyptus, oregano oil are particularly supportive. And so there was a study done that peppermint helps and has beneficial properties with inflammation, which is what is created when we eat all those foods.
Ding,
and so,
ding, ding, ding.
yeah, I know. I got one more story. So, I invite you to be your best advocate. I met with a gal who had a couple warts on her hands, and they gave her yeast injections, and I froze because every 2 out of 3 people have candida, which is a yeast overgrowth, which creates the sinus. And I mean, it's this whole body thing. It's this train that just happens. And then I said, yeast. And so we were doing a foot bath. So if anybody ever wants to do a foot bath, just reach out to me. So that's what was coming out of the foot bath was the yeast. That's what it created me to ask the question. Wow. And we looked in the book, in our desk reference, and it said frankincense. Okay, so I just invite you that if somebody tells you to do something, please
do your research.
Do your research, and if you need a referral to just have a consultation with anybody that we've had on the show, Dr. Melissa, just get a second opinion, I guess, is what I'm asking.
Along these same lines, when you're in a home, that's the first time you come in, or in a hoarder house or a house that is really. We were in a house that helped us a year or so ago, and you couldn't even walk in the basement. There was so much stuff in there, and it had been there for years.
Yeah.
How do you protect yourself from that? Because there's mold and air
dust
pollutants
and
dust
mites
and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Do you
all the stuff.
hazmat up when you go in there, or what do you do?
I mean, I think we wear gloves and the N95 masks.
Okay, you do.
Yeah, if there's mice or mold. Otherwise, we try not to disturb it. So if there's a way to kind of go around it, to have windows open, get ventilation to those areas, or we try to remove the items from that space. So if it's a basement that has mold, we'll bring the stuff up and outside and kind of do our sorting there.
And a lot of people are living with that, and
Yes.
they don't notice it.
Yep.
They don't care, and it's really dangerous.
And they don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
And their stuff is contaminated with it. And, it's like they still, find value in it. And it's like, oh, your stuff might be wrecked from this mold. It's like you got to take care of your stuff and preserve it. And, when you have items in your home, you really have to be mindful of how you store them and the temperature and what's going on if the house is old or,
Yeah, having stuff, against the walls, it can kind of cause issues of moisture, and it can cause your house to freeze on the inside if you have, blankets and pillows up against the wall, and, in Minnesota it freezes on the outside and it will come through to that. And things that if they don't get moved frequently, there's no airflow. And we just think that, it's just so important. And that's another reason why we care. We're so passionate about this because it's going to kill you. It could kill you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people have, illnesses and
upper
depression
respiratory
and anxiety and asthma. And, these issues they go a lot further than just stress from clutter. It's actually making us ill.
So how do you organize your time? You got a bunch of kids between you.
Yeah.
You're both married. You got family stuff going on. You're doing this. We'll get into your thrift store or your little boutique in the next segment when I want to talk about that. But talk about expansion in your business growth. And there's only so many hours in a day. Do you plan on taking on any more staffing or any more help, or how does that? What's your thought?
We're trying to grow our company, and we have a couple of staff members that we've expanded with. And we want to do more coaching, online coaching, because we feel like we want to reach more people and get in their homes with just the two of us, because we really enjoy helping people. And that's kind of where we're going with it.
Yeah, I think that as far as a work-life balance, I think it's just important to be intentional about your time.
Outsource. We
outsource
a lot.
things. if people need help selling things on eBay, we're going to try to outsource some of that and just outsource some of the sessions. We're taking turns on Fridays, one's at the store, one's with staff organizing, so that we're not doing evenings and weekends, and we can be with our families. And so it's just kind of a balance of that. So
when you are organizing, everyone's got a methodology that they do for whatever it is that they do. What are your favorite go-to, like, how do you organize? How do you sort things and containerize them? And is it bags, boxes, drawers, shelves? What do you like?
Yeah.
I like to subdivide all drawers. Like every drawer should have a divider in it. And every item should have a home.
No
in the
junk
drawer.
drawers.
Yeah.
I go through my junk drawer every month.
Yeah, she has a small one. She keeps it smaller.
One junk drawer.
It will get filled up no matter the size.
Yeah.
So we usually, when we get started, we use we can use it. It depends. Sometimes we'll use garbage bags, but we try to look to see if they have like boxes in their home that they need to break down, and we'll kind of set those out, and it will be kind of a keep, donate, and throw. And we can just kind of add things to that. And then as we go, we put, all similar things, all stuffed animals together and all shoes together. And that's kind of how our method of breaking up the madness.
We don't really like cardboard boxes, though.
Yeah, we like to get those out of the house for them because they're not. So we have
everything labeled.
Yes, we would definitely want everything to have a
uniform.
label and clear.
Uniform.
If you can, so you can
it just
see
makes
what's in
your
it.
brain think less.
Right.
And you have less stimuli, and your line of sight is clear.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got to go out and pay some more bills. This is Our Healthy Homes, ourhealthyhomes.com. When we come back, we're going to talk about, what's the name of your boutique?
Grace and Glory.
Grace and Glory Boutique when we come back. We're going to be talking about Grace and Glory Boutique, your new boutique that you have. But before, I just want to touch on one last thing before we get on to that. Professional organizations. So are you members of, is there any kind of a national professional organization? You mentioned online coaching, which is really a great idea, teaching others how to be organized.
Yeah.
Talk about professional organizations and training that you've taken.
Yeah.
So NAPO is the main one, and it's National Association of Professional Organizers, I believe.
Yep.
And we thought about doing that, but there's so many resources out there. It's just at your fingertips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All the resources and books and things you can do to learn about organizing and different methods that people use.
But does anybody do it?
Yeah.
I mean, like me.
We're
That's
talking
why-
about, talking about professionals. So.
Professionals, yeah.
Yes. So we do all the research for you. We go through all the methods that are out there. We try them in people's homes. We try them in our own homes. And then we implement the ones that we have found to work. Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. Okay, so let's talk about your Grace and Glory.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So Grace and Glory is a little storefront in Faribault.
Okay.
And it came to us while we were driving. We were leaving the shelter. We work at a domestic violence shelter on Sundays. And we've been at this one for about a year now. And we had been bringing, the best of the stuff we could collect to this women's shelter.
Oh, nice.
And it got to a point where we decorated the place and we brought clothing and everything was going really good. But then it got full. So then we thought, where are we going to bring all this valuable stuff and how are we going to get money for the stuff that, we aren't getting bins really donated. People are using their bins. So we needed bins at the shelter. We needed a vacuum. We had things that we wanted to buy. Mm-hmm. So we thought, well, maybe we could talk to the clients that we're at and discuss if we were to sell some of these things and purchase things for the shelter instead of bringing, the shelter doesn't need a Louis Vuitton bag.
Right.
So
right.
there's just things that aren't appropriate or helpful when you have nothing. And so we were taking these valuable things, selling them, and buying things to the shelter. But as you can imagine, things were piling up in our garages and our cars.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of work to sell things. And so it just developed into having a store. So we bring all the best of the best after the shelter, of course. We keep filling the shelter.
Mm-hmm.
And then doing a few other things that we haven't discussed yet, but we try to give to the community. And then when everything is full, we bring to the store. And 25% of the profit goes back to the shelter. So our dream is to hit multiple shelters a year and organize them, and then buy what they need with the money from the store.
And the store is a nonprofit.
Yes.
Itself. And so tell the story about how you got the location. It's just a great story.
Yeah. So it's definitely a God story. It's a kind of unique story. While we were having this conversation, we were in the van, and
our van's sprinkle.
Yeah, we have this white, boxy, adorable van.
Yeah.
And it's not, doesn't have anything on the side of it yet. We need to get it wrapped. But we were in that little quirky van, just driving. We were full of stuff, and we're like, what are we going to do with all this, And we just felt this nudge. I'm like, we have to have a store. We have to have a store. We have to sell things. And Kelsey's like, let's do it. So we sat there. We're like, well, what do we do? Where do you start? If you want to open a store, what do you do? Well, all of a sudden, we're like, well, let's pray about it. So we were like, out loud, we just said, okay, what's the next step? And all of a sudden a car went by and it said, ask Mike. And we were like, that was weird because it was instant. And it just felt like kind of like it was something. And so I'm like, well, I don't know Mike. She doesn't know Mike. So I'm like, well, maybe our husbands know Mike. So I got home and I set my keys on the counter and my husband's phone rang and it said Mike. And I about died. I looked at my husband and I go, who is this? Who's Mike? And he said, oh, that's from high school. We see him once a year for 4th of July, and he was calling a month early just to talk and see if we were going to do that again. Really weird timing. So I messaged Kelsey right away. I was excited. I'm like, a Mike called.
Yeah.
And she goes, well, did you ask him if he has a store? No, I didn't. I don't know how to bring that up. So I went on Facebook. I made a post saying we needed like a free place we could start this, get going on our feet, low cost eventually. Don't know if it's going to work. Might not. I was just upfront with everything. And I tagged Mike in it. And he messaged and said, call me. I have something.
Get out.
No. So we call him, and he says that a guy that we went to high school with manages the property. And so we drove out there and met with him. He showed us the space, and he said, you can do whatever you want to it, and you can have it for free until you get going.
Yep.
So.
And then everything was delivered as we needed it from people.
Yeah.
Just like we needed flooring. We had people install and pay for the flooring. We needed lighting and paint.
A sign.
Yeah. The sign we got from a client.
Our store sign. Yeah. It was just kind of, it all just evolved. We're like, we didn't have any money for this project. We hadn't done any fundraising or we hadn't done anything.
We didn't take out like a business loan or anything.
No loans. We didn't do anything. So we're like, what are we going to do? So we just slowly, as we needed flooring and lights, this whole place, we tore down the ceiling. We had to have a dumpster come.
I was watching.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a lot of work in that place. And we were worried about asbestos, and we were worried about, so we were in masks. We were there at night, no air conditioning. We'd leave at 8 o'clock at night after our littlest ones went to bed, and we would stay there till 1 in the morning, and we'd be painting, and we'd be pulling down wallpaper, and we'd be scrubbing walls and sweating with N95s and
so now you have all these items. So you take the items from your people that you're organizing and bring it to the store and sell it. Can anybody just drop off any items?
Yes.
It's 500 square feet, so it fills up really quick.
Oh,
so
I suppose.
We try not to encourage too much because we were just so full.
Yeah. So we don't have like a lot of staff or place to bring. We already have to kind of shove under tables the stuff that we're bringing in. And we don't, as professional organizers, we don't like shoving anything.
Yeah.
So
shoving
is not a good word. So we are doing that. We are absolutely shoving under the table, and it kills us. So we try not to do too much. So we just lightly, as needed, if we're low on clothing, we'll put out an SOS, and people just respond so quickly. Mm-hmm. And we're able to fill it up with amazing things. And we try to have, name brand and really good quality. So this store is decluttered, as you can imagine, on the surfaces. It's clean. It's a good environment. It's been prayed over. It's a light and airy and welcoming place.
We have really nice volunteers that help us.
Yeah.
Talk about volunteers. And first of all, where is the store located?
It's in Faribault.
Okay.
On Central Avenue in downtown Faribault.
Okay. And then if someone is listening now and they say, I'd kind of like to go check it out and maybe like a volunteer, how does that volunteering work?
Yeah. So I think the easiest way is just to text us or call us on our cell phones, which is
651 612-208-0450. And you can also call that number if you want an organizing session or
Consultation.
Okay.
Yeah.
consultation.
So that's kind of how people reach out. But it's, we're looking for someone to help on Fridays at the store. So we're only open about 4 hours a day right now because between kids and, organizing, it's very hard to get to Faribault. But we're hoping to be open every day. Currently, we have staff on Wednesday and Thursday, and then me and Kelsey are doing Friday and Saturdays. So.
Is there really that much traffic?
Yeah. Yep. People are loving it. It's just we're very picky about what we bring in there and the quality of the clothing. If it has any kind of stain or any type of pilling, it's gone. So it's just the nicest stuff. So it's so cool. You find treasures and handbags, and we have Coach and all kinds of nice stuff. So
The bracelets and all
tons of
color
jewelry.
coordinated.
It's just
I saw that.
exciting.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's exciting when people come in there and you're going to get a good deal.
So mostly clothing, some small jewelry items,
Yeah.
Decor.
Home decor.
home decor.
Yep. We have, household pictures for your wall and
Shoes.
Yeah, we have shoes and handbags and
So do you have someone managing that, or do you guys do it yourself? Or,
Yeah.
I do it.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, it's just like so many things going on. It sounds like Sheila.
Yeah. Yep.
It does.
No,
It
Sheila's
does,
my inspiration.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay,
There's a lot
so
of things
once
going
again,
on.
the website is your website for Peaceful Life Organizing.
Yep. PeacefulLifeOrganizing.com.
And how long are you booked out for? So if someone were to go on that site today, fill out the form or whatever it is, when are you going to get back to them, and how long before you can actually, go out to their place and see what you got to work with?
We try to get back to people within 24 hours.
Okay.
And we do have some emergency time if it's an emergency. But
What's an emergency?
Yeah.
like I'm moving next week.
Stress.
Help.
Okay.
It's like,
We do a lot of move outs.
our
for
house
people.
is going on the market and we need help now.
Staging.
Kind of the SOS phone call. We have people crying.
Yeah.
ADHD, anxiety, depression. There's some emergencies on that end where people are like, I can't walk, I can't do my laundry. Like
I'm overwhelmed.
SOS. So those we have slots available for that. But otherwise, the typical homeowner, we're looking into the end of May or the beginning of June for a session.
And to go out and consult with them, no cost to consult with them?
Yeah,
or
nope.
to go out? Okay, so how long does that take you to do? I mean,
Under an hour usually.
okay, so you're out there an hour, look at the project, and then you're pretty good by now, I guess, at summarizing for yourself, like this is going to take us about so much time.
Yeah, I mean, it can vary depending on the person. Some people like to go slower. So it really does vary on the person. So we don't usually give like a quote on how much like a whole house would take, but on average, it takes a kitchen at least 4 hours and kind of stuff like that, no matter the speed. So,
And then how far do you go?
How far?
Travel-wise.
Oh.
We drive all around Minnesota.
Isn't it fun?
Yeah.
I mean, with
We
real
love it.
estate, I mean, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
we've
We
gone
take
as far
Sprinkle. We just
Yeah.
drive.
Take
Yeah.
Sprinkle.
Yeah, we've gone as far as Reamer,
Yeah.
Minnesota. So we've gone like hours. So we can help anybody.
PeacefulLifeOrganizing.com, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
PeacefulLifeOrganizing.com. It'll change your life, guaranteed. This is Our Healthy Homes. OurHealthyHomes.com. 651-775-9194 to reach out to the lovely and talented Sheila. She'll get you pointed in the right direction and make your life even better. We'll see you next week.
But when he calls me sugar, I love that man with all my might. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the afternoon. Sugar after dinner, sugar in every room. He says I'm sweet as I can be. When he calls me that name, it does things to me. I tell him, honey, you can call me sugar.